Steven van de Velde, a Dutch beach volleyball player who was convicted of raping a 12-year-old girl in 2014, recently spoke out following widespread controversy over his participation in the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. Van de Velde, who was 19 years old at the time of the crime, served a 4-year prison sentence. After his release in 2017, he returned to the sport, ultimately securing a spot in the Dutch Olympic team, a decision that has ignited intense public debate. In an interview with Dutch national broadcaster NOS, Van de Velde addressed the backlash for the first time. He admitted that the intense scrutiny and public outcry had made him question whether he should continue with his Olympic journey. "I definitely had a quitting moment, both before the tournament and during it," Van de Velde said, reflecting on the pressure he felt. However, he decided to push forward, stating, "I'm not going to give others the power to bully me away or get me away." During the Olympic Games, Van de Velde, along with his teammate Matthew Amers, reached the round of 16 before being eliminated by the Brazilian team. Throughout the tournament, Van de Velde faced hostile reactions from the audience, including being booed during matches. He acknowledged that the negative reception had affected his performance but also expressed understanding of the public's concerns. "Do you want somebody with a history? Can he stand on the podium? That is a legitimate question to ask," he said, recognizing the complexities of his situation. However, he also emphasized that he is no longer the person he was a decade ago, stating, "I can't change what people think of me. Someone can hold me responsible forever for what happened, and that's okay because that's what it is. It is their right, so I accept that." Van de Velde's participation in the Olympics has been met with widespread condemnation, particularly from safeguarding organizations and victim support groups. Juris Colin, CEO of the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, expressed deep concern over his inclusion in the Games, stating, "We are deeply concerned that anyone convicted of sexually assaulting a minor could participate in the 2024 Olympic Games." Colin highlighted the potential dangers of allowing such an individual to compete in an environment that includes minor athletes, arguing that it sends a troubling message prioritizing medals and money over safety. The criticism wasn't limited to advocacy groups. Australian chef de mission Anna Meares also voiced her disapproval, emphasizing that her country's Olympic team has strict policies regarding safeguarding. "If an athlete or staff member had that conviction, they would not be allowed to be a member of our team," Meares stated, underscoring the stringent standards that govern the selection of athletes for Australia's national teams. Despite the uproar, the Dutch Volleyball Federation, NVOBO, and the Dutch National Olympic Committee, NOC, have stood by their decision to include Van de Velde in the Olympic team. Michel Everard, general director at NVOBO, explained that the decision was not taken lightly and involved extensive consultations with various stakeholders, including the International Volleyball Federation, FIVB, and Van de Velde himself. Everard acknowledged Van de Velde's past but noted that he had served his sentence and had since been fully reintegrated into the Dutch volleyball community. Van de Velde's return to professional sport was closely monitored by probation officers and coaches, and he has been competing in international tournaments since 2017. Both the Dutch NOC and NVOBO pointed out that experts had assessed his likelihood of reoffending as nil, and therefore, they deemed it appropriate to allow him to continue his career at the highest level. The Dutch NOC added that Van de Velde met all the qualification requirements for the Olympic Games, and as such, was rightfully included in the team. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, responded to the controversy by emphasizing that the selection of individual athletes is the responsibility of each nation's Olympic committee. The IOC deferred to the Dutch NOC for further information on Van de Velde's selection. The case of Steven van de Velde has sparked a broader conversation about the ethics of allowing athletes with serious criminal convictions to compete on the world stage. While some argue that everyone deserves a second chance, others contend that certain crimes, particularly those involving minors, should disqualify individuals from participating in prestigious events like the Olympics. This debate highlights the ongoing tension between rehabilitation and safeguarding in the world of professional sports.